Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Miami Heat, NBA insider drops major Jimmy Butler to Golden State Warriors trade news. The Jimmy Butler situation continues to get worse after he was suspended for the third time recently. It feels like the Miami Heat need to find a way to conclude this saga before the trade deadline. They cannot afford to let this drag on until the summer. It is far too big of a distraction. This is a sad ending to Butler's time with the Heat, a franchise he led to 2 NBA Finals in 5 seasons, exceeding all expectations and establishing himself as one of the best playoff performers in the league. The Heat have never been afraid to say goodbye to aging superstars though. At 35 years of age and with a long injury history, that might be the case with Butler. But then, that is also why it might be tough to find a suitable trade offer for Butler. There are very few teams in the league in the position to take on his contract in the first place. For a while, the Golden State Warriors had been linked with Butler, but more recently, those rumors had faded away as it looked like the organization had turned their attention elsewhere. But now, it looks like the Warriors are back in the mix to trade for Butler after having seen the team struggle for form in recent months. According to Tristy Rodriguez on NBC Sports Bay Area, ESPN's Shams Charania reported Tuesday morning, the Heat are engaged with multiple teams on Jimmy Butler, including, from what I'm told, the Phoenix Suns and Golden State Warriors. The Heat are operating in the landscape as a team that's motivated with interested suitors. As far as a price tag on Jimmy Butler goes, it's been described to me in league circles that the Heat are looking for shorter-term contracts, along with draft assets. They have not yet received an offer that they're moving forward with, but the trade deadline looms on February 6. It remains to be seen how the situation plays out over the next week or so. It is very clear that the Warriors need to bring in some help if Stephen Curry and Draymond Green are to make a run for their 5th ring with the franchise in the twilight of their careers. A proven playoff performer like Butler can provide them with just that. And in terms of a trade, the Warriors might be in a better position than the Suns to pull it off, with Phoenix's chances depending on Bradley Beal and his no-trade clause. Jimmy Butler wants to leave the Miami Heat and the entire situation has quickly turned into a mess. He has been suspended by the organization on 3 occasions this season so far, and one can only hope that a trade is agreed before the upcoming February 6 deadline. It is a sad way for a Heat legend like Butler to go out, but then, if history is anything to go by, nobody should be surprised with how all this has played out in recent months. The Phoenix Suns are the only team to have been constantly linked with Butler in recent weeks, but no trade has been agreed so far. And as we approach the deadline, one has to wonder whether it will end up materializing at all. According to Larry Brown Sports, while speaking on the late edition of SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt, ESPN's Brian Windhorst said, "I am not saying this is for sure gonna happen. I am not predicting what's gonna happen. But, I do think some teams that thought they were out of this are coming back in because it doesn't look like the Suns and Heat are going to be able to consummate a deal. I think we might see a team swoop in here and get Jimmy Butler at a cheap price, a guy who can be the best player in a playoff series at a bargain price. And I think that's the phase of this where we're at. This could be a trade that affects the outcome of this season. Let's see how the saga plays out moving forward with just a little over a week left before the trade deadline. If any Butler trade is to happen, one would think that 3 or 4 teams would need to be involved, if not 5, to make it possible. Other than the Suns, there are plenty of teams who were also linked with Butler earlier in the season before those rumors faded away. Could they end up returning to the fold with just days left to make a trade deal happen? At this point, the Heat might be happy to hand interested teams a discount on the trade rather than risk continuing this Butler saga until the end of the season. Warriors star Stephen Curry's sister takes issue with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's IG post. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander may be one of the best players in the association as he continues to lead the nascent Oklahoma City Thunder to greater and greater heights, but he is not everyone's cup of coffee, MVP-level play be damned. Gilgeous-Alexander has built a reputation for himself as a free-throw merchant, and his posts on Instagram weren't exactly made with the intention of establishing himself as a bigger fan favorite. And it seems as though he is continuing to ruffle feathers, including that of the sister of Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry. Speaking on the Straight to Cam podcast with Los Angeles Sparks star Cameron Brink, Siddle Curry, in jest, expressed her disdain over Gilgeous-Alexander's post on Instagram that seemingly targeted his brother, the Warriors star. He posts his fits and he posts music lyrics as captions. I think he also tries to, whatever city he's in, he tries to find a lyric that matches the city. When he played in the Bay, he posted, "I was feeling like E40 in the Bay, so I had to go dumb." Watching the move, he crosses up Steven, goes behind the back, Steven gets off balanced. Great move, right? You posted the shot of it, great. But why are there four other clips of him against Steven, and no other player gets that? No other post gets that, Curry said. At the end of the podcast clip, Brink and Curry simply agree that there may not be a more magnetic player in the NBA, especially on social media, than the Warriors star. Steven is a first-ballot Hall of Famer who revolutionized the game of basketball, and for Gilgeous-Alexander to one-up him, and have the audacity to brag about it on social media and the ability to back it up, is no surprise. At this point, barring an unforeseen major turnaround for the Warriors, they are close to impossible to win the 2025 NBA championship. They simply do not have the two-way talent and firepower around Stephen Curry that they once did, and they don't exactly have the sense of urgency to overhaul the roster. But now, the Warriors' decline is coinciding with the Thunder's ascent, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander positioning himself as a believable candidate to win the MVP award. And with Curry already having plenty of time in the spotlight, Gilgeous-Alexander can do what? Warriors may miss out on chance to trade for former All-Star center. The Golden State Warriors could give the Chicago Bulls what they want for their former All-Star center Nikola Vucevic, but their willingness or lack thereof to spend his asking price could cost them the opportunity. According to Michael Sines of Sir Charles in Charge, the Warriors may not want to cough up first-round picks to bring Vucevic on board. According to a recent report, the Warriors are only willing to offer second-round pick draft compensation at the moment. The Bulls are looking for a first-round pick for their big man. As the two sides continue to negotiate, you can't help but wonder if this lowballing is going to end up backfiring on the Warriors, Sines wrote. Reservations that Golden State may have are warranted. While Vucevic is a perennial threat to average 20 points and 10 rebounds a season, the Montenegrin big man is not an elite defender or rim protector and is approaching his age 35 season in the league. The Warriors have continually been vocal about their unwillingness to compromise their future assets for short-term success. Vucevic could easily be the team's third premier scorer that they greatly need and service their interior well. However, how many more years he has left playing at this level is unknown. The two-time All-Star is earning $20 million for this season and is set to earn $21.48 million next season in the final year of his contract. Thus, Golden State could give up one of the 6 first-rounders that they have between now and 2031 to strengthen their chances of winning a championship this season or next. However, with the way things have been going for them this season, And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Vucevic? Leave your opinion in the comments.